right, guys, I am going to sit here and chat for probably about 3, 4 minutes and give everybody a chance who wants to come on. Please say hello in the comment section. I'm hello, hello, hello. Like I said, hello, Alice. I'm just gonna I guess I should have had some sort of poem or something prepared for the intro, but we're just gonna wait a couple of seconds. Derry, hello, you wonderful bright witch. Hello, hello, Black Hecate. I am so happy to see folks jumping on. Like I said, I'm still gonna give it here. Let me look. We're gonna give folks another minute before I start. Hello, Amanda Marie. And Manny, hello. How are you? Hello, hello. Ebobo. I feel if I'm going to do that, I need to go give an offering and a little libation. I'm so happy to see everyone here this evening. All right. Tonight's a pretty cool topic, I think. A lot of folks always hear, I'm looking for a teacher. I need a mentor. I want to join a coven. All right. And when you're sitting on your front porch, all those sound so easy to do. Yes, actually, it's a dark moon, Amanda Marie. We're at 0 illumination. And so that is the true dark moon this evening for those of you that would like to participate in that. All right. But one of the things I wanted to discuss was when a lot of you new witches, you finally find a group or organization, whatever, that you just think is the coolest thing in the coolest thing you've ever heard of. You are so excited, and the next thing you do is your brain falls out of your all's heads because you don't stop and back up, all right, and really look at the organization, look at the leaders, the elders, all right? This is an interviewing process, especially now on social media, because anybody can be anything on social media. Y'all know what I'm talking about, all right? I can make a fancy background. I can give myself fancy titles. I can do all sorts of things. But am I part of the community? All right. When I talk about my experience, my credentials, all right, are they with, the community within your tradition, whatever your magic path is? You didn't sit in a corner, read a couple of books, and then decide that you were our, high priestess or papa or mamba so-and-so. You were actually in the community. Okay. And that's the first thing you really need to, when, mentors, teachers, all right, is making sure these people are who they say they are, for real, who they say they are, that your expectations are matching. Okay. And I'm going to flip down here and y'all see me looking down because I got notes. That's where I talk about be realistic. That was my note for that rant that I did. Is because you don't keep it in reality sometimes, all right? If somebody's a shitty person to everybody else, guess what? They're going to be a shitty person to you. If they, it's a fancy site, but this person's never been in the community, but they got all the social media stuff going on, is that what you want to, is that what you're looking for? All right? It's be realistic. And another thing that I see a lot of the new folks doing is you have a tendency to want to put elders, authors, high priests, mambos, papas, whatever the title is, on a pedestal and treat us like we're something special. All right. As a person, I have bills to pay. I have a life. I'm married. There's a whole other side, to it, that all of us have. All of the folks out there got to pay their phone bills, their electric bills, go to the grocery store. Okay. These are real people. They have real problems, a lot of them. And I'm not trying to say anything, but I'm saying is they have a life. All right. And that you need to be aware of that this is just a person. Now, their experience, their training, all of that, yes, you respect it. Respect my 40 years in the community, but that doesn't make me that damn special in the end. All right. And that it's really, you're looking for folks that don't drink their own Kool-Aid is my first thought. But it's folks in which are keeping it real with you. If they're trying to paint a picture that their life is absolutely perfect, everything's wonderful, they're all powerful and everything like that, that's back to the first thing I said about being realistic. Nobody's like that. All right. Nobody's like that, and another thing to be careful about is building someone else's ego. All right. We've got some folks in the community that they count almost how many people, or how are in their group, their coven, or whatever, that they're, I have so-and-so. Okay, when you hear that statement, you need to leave the room. Suki, shouldn't your mentor be your friend in a certain way, like a respectful friendship? Yes, absolutely. All of my folks are friends with me on a level, absolutely, but are they my, get drunk, eat ice cream and tell my darkest secrets too? They're probably not ready for my darkest secrets. And that would cross the line, I think. It is about, for me, it's about passing on a lineage. It's about passing on a tradition. And so I sort of feel like I need to act accordingly, if that makes sense, guys. I'm not sure how to say that. But yes, Derry pointed out that, she's not a high priestess, but she's really good at inspiring people. But it's about being honest about that, and that you are, saying, hey, I'm not saying I'm all that, but I do know a little something and I might be able to help. That's great. Those are the type of folks you need to lean in on, folks that are keeping it real. Now, we talk a lot about these mentors, and I just went through with them. Now we're going to flip it over to the mentee, to you. All right? Where are you ready to take that step? And I pulled, this is our shout out, Dedicant's Handbook to Coven Life. This for us within the house is a first year, when has all sorts of information for first year folks. I'm not getting into that. What I want to get into is what we expect is on the first line of our book that says to have their physical mundane lives at a healthy stage to explore/experience their spiritual magical selves. All right. And that's a big statement. To have their physical lives at a point where they can experience and explore their magical spiritual selves. Are you really ready for that commitment? Okay. Thank you, Jerry, for the shout out. It's but this is a big step. And I've seen some people, I want to do this, I want to do this. And then you start, okay, are you ready? Can you make the commitment? All right. For here at the cottage, we want you to attend 75% of our activities. because we understand real life happens. All right. We actually do have situations where, off visiting for the summer in France and things like that. But it is, are you ready to make the commitment to whatever group that has going on? And typically they get together at least once a month minimum, twice a month. Some groups get together once a week. Can you do that? Realistically, ask yourself that. Can you do that? Are you ready to make that commitment to a group of people? All right. If you choose to get involved in a group, and even online, all right. I do a global virtual group that we have. All right. They make the same commitment. All right. Everything I'm saying translates from physical space to online space. There is no different. If you choose to take part in a virtual organization, all right, and they have meetings, they have things going on, are you going to commit to that? Are you going to really do those things? All right. Suki, I couldn't commit because you're still in school, and you're being a realist and understanding that in the future you will be at that point. All right. And back to look at yourself realistically. Next thing, if you choose to join a group, odds are you're going to have some type of a cost. All right. Because ain't no such thing as free, folks. I don't care what people say. All right. Even for our neo-pagan community, their groups, there's a cost to operating. And it's not fair that one person should pay for it all. So typically those groups will divide the cost among themselves. Ooh, let me get a sip of water, witches, real quick. All right. But there is going to be some sort of cost involved, whether it's helping to support the group or you're paying for a course or being part of, for us, virtual space when we do Zoom. Zoom ain't free. All of this comes at, time, expense, expertise. Fernando, I was in a coven, but I got out because the energy turned out not to be good. That happens. It really does. And that is why we have that year and a day. But you need to be making sure, are these the people I want to join? I mean, seriously, because when you make that commitment, this is a lifetime commitment. All right. The folks that are part of my tradition, I have folks that I feel like I grew up with in the community, from our 20s, our 30s, 40s, and now we're in our 50s, and so this is really a life-changing, amazing, wonderful commitment. All right. And if you find a group that you're not vibing on, politely walk out the door. Not everybody is everybody else's flavor, and of course, if you are going to be part of a group, you need to be an active member of that group, like reaching in, leaning in, helping out, ask them, what can I do? What do you need? Be a part of it. All right. And to also, within our tradition, we really encourage folks to get involved in the pagan community, the conjuring magical community at large. Okay. And now this is a big thing. It sounds like, Taryn's group is lovey-dovey. No, because we are part of a community. If you get involved with a person or a group that just wants you to stay with them, and don't go talking to those other folk, just talk to us. We're the real ones. They're not. You potentially, that's called a cult. All right. What happened? Oh no, I froze. What happened? Chelsea? Okay, so you guys can hear me, but my screen has frozen with a really cute picture of me on it, by the way. I'd like to say I love the face I'm making. But for some reason, my video has decided, let's see here. We're going to try taking the camera off and putting the camera back on to see if it likes me. Now my camera is not liking me at all. This is, of course, y'all can hear the ding in the background with tech support is on the way. But I don't know what to tell you all. Then I am so sorry for this technical problem. I am going to end this stream. I'm going to tell you all, oh, you can see me. Oh, even better. So all of you guys can see me. Oh no. Let me get tech here. All right. Well, we're just going to flip over to podcast. All right. I would like to, welcome to Taranes's podcast, where we're on part 2 of how to find a good witchcraft mentor. All right. And I was talking about, before you start looking for them, you need to look to you first. And if you're in that, realistically look at yourself. Are you ready to take this step, this commitment? And even if you do a solitaire mentor relationship that is a one-on-one type thing, all right, you still, do you have the time? Are you ready to make that commitment? Are you ready to dive into the magical spiritual life and embrace it, all right? Now, why are you looking to come into our community? If you're looking to come into our community because you think we're going to fix something, somehow your life is in such a wreck of a place that if I go and become a witch, then I can do a spell and everything's going to be taken care of. All right. That is a fast road to nowhere in our community. All right. Witchcraft is the art of transformation of self. And so it is really all about you and getting your shadows out, getting in balance with you so you can be in balance with the universe, so you can do beautiful magic and tilt the universe slightly from left to right. Let me flip through here. Okay. Yes. I was, going through my notes here real quick to make sure I hit everything. I talked about, when you look at these mentors, to make sure you really investigate and really look at how they treat others. All right. And that year and a day is so important. Okay. For you and for them before you make any real commitments to anything. All right, witches. I know y'all can't see me, but I would say, does anybody have any questions or any comments they would like to add to this topic? I hear everybody talking about it all the time. And I wanted, just for folks to put a couple of extra thoughts in their head, so to speak. And with that said, I don't see anybody on any comments. Of course, if you leave any comments on the video later, I will answer them. Oh, beyond authentic. Beyond authentic, I wish I could. I'm not the tech person. There are people that do things for me. So unfortunately, I can't really do much more than press a couple of buttons. And for some reason, it's decided it doesn't like the camera on my computer, is what I'm starting to realize. I don't know. But I would like to thank all of you so much for leaning in. I thoroughly enjoyed the time we did have together, and I look forward to going live again. I will be going live for our members later on this month. And I also want to give a quick shout out to Moonbook Publishing is doing an online witch conference. All right. And they're doing it via Facebook, and it's free and anybody can come. And this is my publisher of Hoodoo and the Psalms. They have got over 20 plus authors, writers lined up over June 5th and 6th. Okay, go to Moonbook, the Moonbook face page. Donna, why would a high priestess not teach her students magic for years at a time? I have no idea. That doesn't make sense to me either, Donna, so I really don't know. What would be a good idea to... they always say start with like a book club, but I really, realistically, it doesn't. Everybody peters out on the book, so I would tell you to find a place where you could host sabbats, and to have, we just did Beltane. If you've got a place in your yard, set up your Beltane pole and invite everybody to come over, you know? And so, you know, it build, you know, be the change you want to see, be the, you know, build the world you want to have type attitude, build it, they will come. So, you know, if you are lucky enough and you feel like you've got yourself together, start hosting sabbats, or even host a full moon, you know, where everybody comes together and charges their full moon, and invite people. If you don't have your space, go to your metaphysical bookstores. All right, any of our magic bookstores, and find out if they know if anything is going on in your local area, you know. And if, you know, you do decide to put something together, make a little flyer up and take it up to the bookstores that you know are friendly, the crystal shops and things like that. You know, but definitely reach out. You know, we have local Facebook pages now where they have Facebook groups. I know for us in San Diego, we are so lucky that we have a San Diego Facebook group, and you could post things up on there. All right. You know, and I'm leaning in and reading. Any tips for intermediate witches looking for a mentor? I've been practicing for 25 plus years, but I still have more to learn. Don't we all? Any tips? Lana Cooper, where you're reaching that point feeling like you haven't quite, what else do I need to know? I feel like that sometimes too. And that's where we have to start revisiting things in a new way. For some of us witches that have been doing it for that, you know, 15, 20 year mark, 25, 30 year mark, and you just feel like you've leveled out, but you want more depth. How do I find that more depth? And that's where I say revisit old subjects in new ways. And a perfect example, a couple of years ago, I decided that for the entire, I was going to take a year and a day journey with the Sabbats by making a cocktail for every Sabbat. And I made up my cocktails and I took them to the group I was involved with at the time and shared my cocktails. And I got to experience the Sabbats a whole new, different way. I got to talk with folks I wouldn't have spoken to. All right. And it just became a really, really cool experience for me. Beyond authentic, you're doing witchy videos on YouTube. Oh, good for you. Good for you. We always need good content and everything. But it's about putting yourself out there, but doing it in a safe and sane way. And doing it, like I said, knowing that you need to vet people, you need to interview people, you need to pay attention. All right. And when you do find somebody that you're leaning in on, that's where, you lean in a little bit more, find out what they got going on. And it may take a little while because typically, I get asked, if you guys understand, I get constant people coming at me going, please teach me. And it's just because they drank a couple of glasses of wine and thought it was cool. And getting past that hump to letting mentors, letting elders, letting teachers, high priestesses, high priests, mamas, papas, letting them know that you're committed. You have to get past the door of all those folks that are standing there going, I want to do it, but in reality aren't getting off their couch or they're off their front porch. Get out there. Keep knocking at the door is what I'm saying. All right. Now, I was supposed to be giving shout outs and then I went back to reading questions. I'm terrible, y'all. But I want to invite all of you to please go to the Moon Book Publishing Facebook group, and you'll find all the information June 5th and 6th. I am going to be putting out, because I'll be doing my workshop on June 6th at 7 p.m. East Coast time. I'm doing a workshop on the Psalms. Of course, what else would I be doing? One with Hoodoo and the Psalms. I'm going to be discussing the history of the Psalms. All right. And so with that said, I am going to wish all of you a wonderful okay, now I have to stop and read the comments. I keep trying to say goodbye, y'all. Unmotivated to continue studying and I feel stuck. That's what I was talking about earlier with revisiting old things in a new way, looking at it differently, finding that next level, all right? And, good spiritual bath, get yourself up and going. This is commitments that we make to ourselves. It's not about making a commitment to a group or a person. It's the commitment you make to yourself. All right. And you do have times where your altar might get a little dusty. That's okay. Life gets busy, witches. Life gets busy, and as soon as you realize it's happening, get back around again. Start getting active. All right. Yes. All right, witches. I am going to say goodbye. I have so enjoyed this. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm just so amazed at the response with the House of Witchcraft. I want y'all to have as bright of a blessed evening as I'm having. And as always, amen, bless be, ashe, and ebobo.